Who likes the venue? Very cool. Oh yeah, but we start with my slides. So yeah. Okay. A lot of credits were given fairly to the WAM team and to Nacho and his colleagues. I have a personal thank you to give to my colleague Chin Lan. Can you stand up? Because Chin Lan on our side has been dealing with almost all of the organization, with presentations and a lot of stuff that I happily didn't have to bother with. And yeah, that's not relevant. Let's get started. Do we have my slides, or shall I just, you know what? Let me open the slides myself. Better. Okay. And maybe let's start with the first slide. Who else has a 7-month-old baby and is a bit foggy? Okay. Let's say tired is my baseline state at the moment. So you might or might not have seen that we suddenly announced a POS, or we showed it at a venue in the Netherlands a couple of weeks ago. And I would like to share a bit more with you. We already shared a video yesterday with a whole walkthrough of what the application does. I wanted to explain you a little bit about the reasoning behind why we are building this. So Hyvä POS, point of sale, that's for in-store sales, as you all are familiar with. It's kind of a breaking link in the Magento ecosystem. And it's not so much in other ecosystems. Most of them have a very good POS system readily available. In the Magento world, it's a bit lacking. There are solutions, but they don't live up to the competition, so to say. So we think a native POS for Magento that hooks into Magento without any middleware and everything will solve a lot of issues. So as I said, it's a native Apple app. It will also run on a MacBook or an iMac. But iPad, iPhone, everything runs this application. And it's a real-time Magento sync, so we link directly through REST API to Magento. And it will truly give you a unified commerce solution to offer to your customers. We're no longer to say Omnichannel, allowed to say Omnichannel, I think. But unified, people buy online or offline, and there's a crossover between those sales. The problem right now is that merchants are often dealing with data silos. They have a POS, which is often a third-party POS that's not directly connected to Magento. In the Netherlands, Lightspeed is really big, but there are other solutions as well. And what I hear from merchants when I talk to them is it never directly communicates with each other. And I have stock here, I have stock there, I have orders here, I have orders there, and it needs to be synced, and it's expensive to maintain and to upkeep, and it's slow, because it's never live data. Yeah, and then you easily get discrepancies between, you know, promotions or prices and stock. A lot of the POSs that exist, they are web-based, they are PWAs, or they pretend to be an app, but they are secretly actually a website, and a website on a device doesn't run as natively with hardware as a native app does. The performance is worse, and connecting hardware is much more troublesome. And with the POS, you just want a barcode scanner to always work, and a printer, and a cash drawer, and a merchant needs to be able to work with it day in, day out, or a cashier, like personnel at the store, who typically don't spend their entire life in the Magento admin, so they are not that tech savvy. And merchants end up paying for two systems, and then the integration between the two systems. So that's not ideal. So we connect directly with Magento. No middleware, no separate databases, everything goes straight into Magento. We only have an offline cache on the iPad device, so that if you don't have an internet connection, receipts are stored on the device instead of Magento orders, and it's being queued up, so as soon as you go back online, it starts to synchronize everything to Magento. And there's a lot of clever things built into that you can see in the video that we recorded. I talk about it extensively. So all your customer data and everything comes from Magento. So someone who already has an account with you online and comes into the store, you can connect it to their account. You can see their store credit and reward points. They can gain reward points in store that also work online. Yeah, they have a unified commerce experience in store and online. And it works offline very well. The queuing system is kind of cool. If you imagine a merchant having like a retail chain, having 50 stores with 2 registers in each store, and the Magento site is offline for half an hour because who knows what, DDoS. And they have thousands of orders throughout all of those terminals. When they are able to connect back to Magento, they will all use a random interval to reconnect to Magento. Like the one will take 5 seconds, the other will take 12 seconds until it starts sending orders to Magento, so they don't all hammer Magento at the same time and crash it. And then there's a back-off mechanism. If it cannot reach Magento, it will try again after 1 minute and then after 5 minutes. And then, so when Magento is already having a hard time, you won't have 100 registers also hammering Magento at the same time. Something that would be really difficult to implement if it's not a native application. So yeah, someone buys something online, comes into store, and they say, well, there was a stain on my shirt, and you create a refund for them for €5 to make them go away and be happy about their sale. Gift start store credit, we've all implemented that in a pretty cool way. We've built a custom API endpoint for reward points and gift cards and RMA. And that's a universal API call that we do to Magento, and then on the Magento side, we've created a layer where we have compatibility to Adobe Commerce, but we also already experimented with MSD, Headworks, and Mirasfit to just translate those API calls to the API calls that they use. So it's kind of a bridge, and that means that you could use any existing third-party store credit or gift card module that you already have. So the app itself is not extendable, but we try to make the bridge with Magento extendable, because in Magento you can extend all of it. Commercially, it's interesting for merchants because most of the other solutions currently charge you for every sale that you do. So there's a percentage of your margins that goes to them. We will not take percentages because they own their infrastructure. We're not in between. They have a contract with their PSP and they pay their fees there, not to us. So no duplicate SaaS subscription, not an extra e-commerce system that they need to pay for, just the app that we provide to them. Licensing is simple. We just charge €50 per terminal per month, which is highly competitive to other POS systems, especially when you start scaling. And it's a flat fee. It's not per location, per amount of staff users or the amount of SKUs that you have, because the merchant already owns that infrastructure. Why should they pay us more for having more SKUs in a store or doing more transactions? And there's no extra cost for middleware, so no longer synchronizing all your sales data between Lightspeed and Magento with some, custom stuff that usually breaks and then needs to be maintained. And for an agency, it's a ready-made solution that you can show to them, you can demo it to them, they can try it out for free, and then when you want to use the paid version, it's just flipping a switch, and you'll be able to extend a lot on the back-end side. So if you want to hook into a new customer or a new order, you do that the way that you're used to in Magento. Pretty much covered this already. It uses MSI by default, so you can connect one store to one MSI, stock, inventory stock, and you can switch per order item. If you take something from the warehouse in the back, you can put it into the cart and just say that it comes from the warehouse instead of the in-store stock. Working on fiscal compliancy, that's required for Germany, France, Italy, and Austria. We'll use a third-party service for that, and that comes with a bit of an extra charge. That will be roughly 10 to 50 euros that you have to pay to them. But you cannot run a register in these countries if you do not have this. It's a digital signing of every sale that you do, so that you cannot avoid taxes. So the Pro module will have offline mode, customer-facing display, so that's the extra display that the customer sees, where they see everything you're adding to the cart, and they can download the receipts from there. There's a QR code that they can scan. And then full orchestration from Magento, where you can set all the settings of the POS in Magento per terminal, what belongs on the receipt, which payment method should be available, and which personnel should have what access. There's role-based permissions, entirely granular. And architecture is offline first. We're storing everything first on the iPad for data integrity, and you cannot change a receipt on the iPad because that's like final data. Customer walked out with a receipt, and that's like immutable. You cannot change a receipt that the customer already had. So when we sync that to Magento and also create an order for that, that's more of a backup for the receipt. That's for your accounting, and you should compare the receipt and the online order, but actually the receipt on your device, that's for your tax compliancy. And in the Pro mode, we also sync the receipts to Magento, so that's also, again, extendable from there. And we export all kinds of accounting files. When you open the cash drawer every day and close it again, you can have like a Z reports from everything that went in and out of the registry, also for accounting and to make sure that you didn't lose additional money during the day. We have loads of hardware support. Pretty much all of the hardware that other POSs support, we also support. In addition to that, some mobile broader devices. So if you're working in a market, you just have like a mobile Bluetooth printer that also works. But the Epson printer that's most common, like the square box, that also connects to the cash drawer, and it powers the iPad, like the whole USB setup, so you're not depending on network or anything. That works, and you can print barcodes as well. And open-close register. We're working on third-party integrations, as I said, and no vendor lock-in. I think the merchants should own their data, like we say with Magento in general, also with the POS. I don't think you should be storing all of that in the cloud with one POS provider, and then having to migrate all of your fiscal data when you ever leave. When it's in Magento, it's yours forever. For the sake of time, let's skip a bit over this. So we'll release this on the App Store for free. You'll be able to just download it. It has a demo mode where the merchant can test everything without even connecting to the store. Then when they want to connect it to the store, there's instructions what they should send to you, to the agency or their technical partner, how they can get API keys to register, and then they can pretty much just start selling stuff. They'll just be missing the offline mode and the second display, and everything that basically requires the Magento module that we built for the RMA integration and all of the extra stuff. That will require the extra license, and the full orchestration that you can do from Magento. That's of course only a Pro feature. We're starting a pilot by the end of the month, so we've invited merchants and agencies to contact us through Hyvä.io/POS. So we'll go through those and let you know where we are in the development and when we're going to start rolling this out. We're planning to first go into like maybe 4 or 5 stores physically and help them set it up and have them test it and get some real life results. And then if that goes well, we can roll it out further, and then it's just waiting for the App Store to approve the app. And then the free version, as I said, you'll just be able to download it, and if you want to switch to Pro, it's the same app, but you just use your license that you bought at Hyvä to upgrade. And then it unlocks the extra features. And you can downgrade at any time. You can add extra terminals for a limited time and then downgrade again. So that's all taken care of. So that's a lot of text on the screen and not much actually seeing the POS. And I know I'm a bit short on time, so let me just very quickly click through it in 2 minutes, and then I'll give it to you. I think John is next, right? Yeah. Oh, my resolution changed, so let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. And then the secondary screen. Okay, that's bigger than I expected. So the left side is the customer-facing display, so that points towards the customer. It's also an iPad, so when you do a sale, you see I can trigger. So if I sell something, let's say, so you can see split payment as well. Let's say someone gives me 100 euros in cash. I can do split payment. Like I say, I want to do the rest by card. So they'll be charged 51 euros with PIN. So that's cash and card combined. We're currently integrated with Molly terminals. We plan to partner with other providers in the future as well. But as you know, we have an amazing partnership with them, and they helped us a lot in our process so far, the way that terminals and the Tap app work out of the box. So if I run this on my phone and I'm on a marketplace and I have a mobile Molly terminal or just the payment app on my phone, I can do the whole sale with the customer from my phone. And it's kind of, always having done stuff online and then doing this in the physical world, it's kind of weird. It's kind of magical. Ping, and then money's there. When I place the order, I don't know why the order is queued now. It will try again later, maybe because it doesn't know that it's online. Let me quickly. That's because it's in a dev environment, and at some point the internet connection times out. So this is multi-user. You can see I can log in. These login data are stored in Magento. So if I quickly show you here what the Magento module looks like. I can set up locations. Is that viewable? Maybe bump it up a bit. So I have one location, and for that location I have terminals, and I link a terminal to a location. And when I add a staff member, I can say whether that's an admin or a manager or a cashier. A cashier cannot do a refund, for example. You can all configure that. And an admin can change his settings on the device, and a manager can't. So currently 2 accounts here, so that directly links to the login here. You can view these offline receipts. I think it should be able to sync now. Is it back online? Okay, well, that's something because I'm running locally. But at least you've seen there's a queuing system, and normally when it understood that it connects to the local Magento instance, it would sync it immediately. You can do a return process, and that actually, when you do this in Magento, you have like 28 steps to do a return. This one combines them all because the customer is in store and it's giving you the product, so you don't need to create a shipping label and then receive the product and say if it's a good state. All of that is skipped, and we just create an RMA. And with a bit of risk that this also fails, because I'm not gonna, so I shouldn't even try this. Watch the video online and you can see how that works. Customer management, I can see the store credit and reward points there. I can scan products with a barcode scanner and automatically add them to the stock. So every time I scan a product, so merchant gets a big box in store and they need to put it into the store stock, they can scan every product one by one, and if they need to transfer it from the warehouse to the store, they can also just scan automatically every product. It's just one transfer. I'll leave it here to let other people speak as well. In all fairness, we already ran out before I started. But I have an iPad with me, and I can show on my phone how the second screen works, and I have a receipt printer with me, so the whole mobile setup. I'll see if during the workshops I can show to a few more people. But yeah, that's in a nutshell what the app looks like. It's very extensive, so you can watch the 1-hour video online. Okay. Thank you.